Hello and welcome to Everything to Guppy, the Binding of Isaac podcast that covers every optional aspect of the Binding of Isaac. My name is Gary. Optional, that's not the word I was looking for.
Yeah, what's up, buddy?
I haven't introduced you yet. Yeah, let me see. Every, I guess kind of special unusual aspect of the Binding of Isaac. I'm Gary Butterfield, and with me as always is an interrupting asshole, Will Hughes.
I'm sulking.
That was the introduction. Now you can talk.
I'm sulking.
Ninny. Okay.
This is my Christmas sulk.
It's the Yule.
It does make sense. That does feel like a bit Brayton would enjoy.
He loved it. It's the Yule still.
It still is Saturnalia.
Yeah, it is. We're past the winter solstice.
Yeah,
eagerly awaiting the next solstice. Mm-hmm. Eagerly awaiting the next. I said narc.
I'm waiting for the narcs to come in.
I'm not. Fuck narcs, man. Narc souls. No good.
What, Gary? That's so good. How did you get to that?
I don't know.
This far into your relationship with that series.
I don't know. And I could have called the Sentinels or whatever the cops.
Yeah,
I mean, Gary.
Yeah, I mean, Gary. In some ways, you're the narc souls because you're like telling people some of those games aren't good.
Yeah, and getting in trouble for it.
Yeah,
time and time again. I will be interested if you. If I don't know how much it is on sale, but you should check out Immortal Unchained.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen Jer McGreer talk it up relentlessly, and it definitely has intrigued me.
It's intriguing. That's a good word for it. Like, it's not perfect. I do like it a lot. You have to get over some stuff with it, but I think it is a really interesting execution on like ranged combat Dark Souls.
Yeah. I'm definitely more interested in it than I am in Ashen.
Ashen I've heard like good and bad things about. Jeremy is real cold on Ashen. Like he got to the end, he's like, this is absolute horseshit.
Okay.
And he was real ready for it to be over. But I am curious about it because other people like it. But I think the people who like it played it for like their games journalists who played it for an hour and then were like, this is neat. And then went on to play other games.
Yeah, I think Austin Walker was talking it up. And I'm always like, I like Austin a lot, but I'm also like, Austin can put a lot of things aside in order to enjoy a game.
Yeah, it's he like one of his, I like him a lot as well. And one of his like most popular recent tweets was like, TDM in games is good. And then like 50,000 retweets. And I'm like, oh man, like, is he going to leave that sitting there?
Yeah,
you know,
boy.
Like no qualifiers, nothing on that. Like, I don't know. So I'll be curious to play it. I would like to. I'm
Gary,
curious.
I mean that's legitimately like I bounced off Breath of the Wild again, and I was just like, boy, this is tedious, and I cannot handle it.
Yeah. It's not. It's good. Like I still like the game. I'm glad I beat it. When I went back to play it a second time to cover it for the show, it was too much. Like, and it was not my favorite game that year, like by any kind of stretch. So. I can see that. I can understand bouncing off that game. I understand bouncing off it more than I do like making your life out of it. Like, you know, really, really loving it. Like to me, it falls real in the middle.
Yeah,
but,
Gary, what day is it today?
It's Krampus Tuesday.
No, Gary, this comes out on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, it's Boss Sunday.
Yeah.
There's more to life than
Boss.
So take a chance and face the
Boss.
open road and a road that's hit brand new
Boss.
around the
Boss. Because since we're recording this on Christmas and don't know how time work.
Yeah, no, this will come out today, right, Gary? I'm going to edit this and put this in the feed today.
I assume we're going live. So.
Oh yeah. Gary, we should do a live episode.
That's a really funny idea. I mean, even though, like, I do feel like, not every episode, but every session, one of us says something that we wish we hadn't said.
Oh, yeah, but that's
and gets
my life.
edited out. We'll just have to be real careful.
You know, Gary, I edit out remarkably few stupid things we say in this show.
I'm not worried about stupid things. I'm worried about, like, one of us either dropping something about our jobs or dropping something about people we know or whatever, you know, shit
Gary,
like that.
Gary, what could you say about your job?
I don't know. The Cole Ross smells better than you might expect.
Oh, boy. I bet. Like cardamom.
Yeah, he's kind of a cardamom boy. Cardamom and cinnamon. I think the cinnamon is natural.
Cardamom bee. Is that anything?
Yeah, I think so. I'd have to know more about Bacardi bee. Is that a thing? I don't... It feels like Cardi B has a lot. Index Cardi B?
Yeah, no.
Cardigan bee?
Magic Cardi B?
Yeah, Magic the Gathering Cardi B. That's a Twitter mashup account.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is actually.
Brian Wade can follow it.
What a weird burn.
He's always like retweeting like Magic card mixed with this thing, and I'm like, buddy, like, okay, I like you.
Gary,
a lot,
don't say things intentionally to make me have to edit them out.
You can just bleep out his name.
Oh yeah,
and everyone will just think it's Jeremy.
Who?
Dermiger.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's two different ones. Let's talk about Krampus. Is actually pretty interesting though. We got to get into the Kramp.
Yeah, technically this would normally be a trinket week, but because we are recording on Christmas, we are jumping in Krampus.
And to be fair, in the page that we're using on the Binding of Isaac Rebirth Gamepedia.com thing, Krampus has his own little special section at the bottom. It'd be years before we talked about Krampus.
Literally years.
And I feel like he's come up a bunch in terms of talking about like Deal with the Devil or like where he falls in a run. And I don't want to wait years to talk about Krampus. So
I don't want to wait for Krampus.
My goals are my previous goals were to stay alive long enough to watch the new Jordan Peele movie, then stay alive long enough to get to Krampus.
Stay alive.
And bright eyes.
No, I'm doing Hamilton.
I don't know what that is. Yeah. Okay,
this is just retaliation for me talking shit about Magic the Gathering.
I don't actually care about that. I don't care about you not liking Magic. I just don't like you liking Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
That's literally what it is. I don't care about Magic. Like,
I'm just saying that the aesthetics in the Kingdom Hearts game are more appealing than the aesthetics in the average Magic deck.
I don't know. I cannot get behind that, man.
Because it's not just generic fantasy. It's generic fantasy with like an edge. Like someone had to come up with the name like Virtus Dawn. Hammer of the Gods.
Yeah. Which just feels very like, maybe we spent different amounts of time like in those kind of fantasy waters growing up. Because that doesn't feel that noteworthy to me. That feels very like just fantasy novel that I would thumb through.
I love
as
fantasy. Like I read a lot of books about, you know, wizards should be ducks and knights should be stupid dogs.
Yeah. The Disney part of that is also the thing. I just need Nomura to never work again. Like,
I know.
I need to, especially I'm getting to the more interesting stuff of Final Fantasy X now in my playthrough, which is good because I was losing my fucking mind. And and it's in like, there are interesting things hidden in that game, but everyone's a fucking eyesore.
Yeah.
Like it's not just the clothing. Like a lot of attention is paid to the clothing, but it's also like how they wear them and their haircuts, you know, like it's just everybody. It's just that guy needs to never work again.
I just
and
get
he has enough money to live,
what?
You know? He
Yeah,
has enough money to support his family. I'm not wishing him like poverty. I just think he needs to stop making things.
I just get really distracted that Scott Menville does a bunch of voices in it.
It's weird.
Like it's like, oh hey, it's Robin. Robin's talking.
It's super weird. Super weird.
Gary, we are. You know what? This week of episodes is an illustration of why McGillicuddy put the time limit on us.
Yeah, we said, hey man, can we go without the time limit for once? We promise we'll be good. And then he said, sure. And we immediately stabbed him in the neck.
Yeah, boy. It's like, we had the slightest of limits placed upon us.
Yep.
And we just...
we thrived. And then as soon as we had them gone,
Gary, you've not listened to the third week of that. Thrive is strong. By the end of it, we were doing the Tetris theme and fart noises.
Oh, yeah. No, I think that's pretty strong. I think it's pretty on brand for us.
Yeah. Those are two very different concepts.
So Krampus is a boss that can surprise you in the Devil Room. He's a mimic. You go into the Devil Room and you think, hey, maybe I'll get 3 red chests with spiders in them. Nuh-uh, baby. You get Krampus instead. And he is a moderately challenging boss fight.
Yeah, so let's talk unlock methods first.
Yep.
Just to kind of get us in the space. You unlock him by doing a bunch of devil deals.
Yes.
You have to take 20 items from devil rooms, at which point, I don't actually remember what the indicator on that looks like, but it is Krampus or something.
Yeah, it is like Krampus is coming or something like that.
Yeah. And to fight him, you tip... Is this right, Gary? This isn't in the wiki, but in my head, this is the truth. You can't fight him on your first devil room. Can you?
You can.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you can. Oh, yeah, you definitely can. On the second floor, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like in my head I had that it was like, once upon a time it was that the more times you took a devil deal, the more likely Krampus was to pop up.
I think that just feels true because it's like it's a fairly good chance of running into him or something like that.
Okay.
So like once you've hit him, you can never hit him again. So it's like rolling a dice and being like, if I get a 6.
Well, you can only get a 6 once on the dice.
I know, but if you keep rolling it.
But no, the 6 won't come up again.
I feel like we're pretty close to being like a YouTube channel where a mathematician explains dice to D&D nerds. So let's but like so I think it just
anyway. I'm
like
right.
that.
You can only roll a 6 once on any given die, and then you have to get a new one.
Then you have to throw it away or eat it.
Yeah.
So this guy so that's how you unlock him. So it adds this little bit of risk and sometimes reward to deal with the devil rooms. You fight him, and we'll talk about how he kind of fits into the meta in a moment, but he flies around the room. The rooms almost always have some obstacles in them. So, you don't have full kind of control of this. He spits little bullets at you. That's 3 and then 4, and they're staggered. So you can't just dodge in one place.
He's actually a harder variant of another boss we have not talked about yet.
Yes.
Called the Fallen.
Yep.
With nastier attack patterns, but the same basic philosophy.
Yes, and a better aesthetic.
Yeah, true.
His biggest thing is that he shoots brimstone lasers that go in the 4 cardinal directions, but then can rotate.
Yes.
Or diagonal. The 8 cardinal directions. And then they can rotate to the next axis, which can make it impossible not to get hit.
Yeah, very, very difficult.
Which is a bummer. It's very hard to avoid.
I have just learned a thing from the wiki, though.
What's that?
Have you learned? Did you already know this, Gary? That he growls if they're going to rotate.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I tend to listen. I play Isaac with podcasts on.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't listen to the audio.
Specifically this podcast, because most of the times when I'm playing Isaac, it's because I'm editing the show.
Yeah. Yep. I don't. I guess I usually will have sound effects on because I want to hear those mom stomps, but I never notice the growl. It might be kind of quiet.
Yeah, that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a cool little tell. And other than that, he just flies around. Contact damage with him is a big deal. It does 1 heart. And he doesn't have that much HP.
Yeah, he's pretty squishy.
He gains a lot per floor.
Yeah.
Is his thing. So the later you find him, that he's going to be kind of commensurately tougher. The most interesting thing that he does, though, is like change the meta. Like when he shows up, that is your deal with the devil chance.
Yep.
Like bada bing. Like that was it. Like you got Krampus, and you get 2 items from Krampus, one of which I think is actually very good. Like I would take from a deal with the devil. Yeah. And one of which is not.
One of which is fine. We have done an episode on Lump of Coal before.
Yes.
So we're on the record. Gary likes it a little bit more than I do, but it's a good damage up pretty much regardless.
It's always worth taking. Like it will always give you good damage up. Amazing with soy milk. Like a lot of cool things it does. The other thing you can drop is Krampus's head, which we haven't talked about yet, but just suffice it to say it is a much lesser reward.
Yeah, it is a decent, it's a real mid-tier active item, and we've talked a lot about how active items are not great anyway.
Yep. And because it'll be a while before we get to Krampus's head, and I don't feel like, I don't feel bad repeating this. Do you remember when Krampus's head first appeared and it was a 3-room charge?
Oh, God, yeah. Just 3-room, ultra, super brimstone.
Yeah, and it never rotated then. Now that it rotates, it makes it worse. You can just melt any boss with Krampus's head. As far as the boss killing items, it's actually really good. It's just you never use it in a room, so it has kind of too good to use syndrome. You'll just save it for the entire floor and then just win the boss.
Because you never know when that boss is going to pop up.
Yep. Yeah, you want to have a full charge for it, so unless there are batteries in play.
If you have a battery game that's on point, it's pretty great.
Yep. And these are his static drops. If you have Chaos, these will still drop. You can re-roll them, but if you don't have D6 or a way to re-roll, you're just stuck with one of these things, and it can be a bummer,
Yeah. Because, I hate this a lot less than I hate, bosses, actual bosses that have, Chad, that have set items. Because I think even the lesser of these two is still pretty good, even put up against the general Devil Room pool. And the fact that you don't have to spend a heart to get them.
Yeah, and definitely it's better than Chad.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Little Chad, and it's better than Little Steven. Like it's better than most of the static things. I would agree.
Or Little Steven's Last Night in Town.
Yeah, better than that.
That's a Ben Folds 5 song.
Oh, is it called literally? Is that whole?
No,
thing
it's just
now?
Steven's Last Night in Town.
Oh, okay, I was gonna say to the wiki.
Yeah,
Perhaps it's a reference.
So this character is a reference to the internet popular Christmas Devil.
Yes, which when you first discover it, assuming you're young enough before it was like absolutely huge, you could be real into. And now if you're into it, it's like,
It's been a little played out. Adam Scott made a movie about it.
Yep. It's cool, the idea that there is a Christmas demon. When I first watched that Venture Brothers Christmas special that has him, I was like howled. Like I was like so into it. I just loved him.
Yeah, that was before it got memey.
Yep. It came at the right time. Those guys, ahead of the curve. And then now it's like, Krampus.
There was an American Dad episode all about him. It's not great.
That probably came way too late.
Yeah, American Dad always does real weird Christmas episodes.
Mm-hmm.
There's one where Stan dies and goes to heaven and then gets a heaven gun and points it at God.
I like the idea of a heaven gun.
Yeah, that's a fun joke in the episode where someone's like, "Why do we have those?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, somebody used their heaven wishes for it.
Yeah, that's true. So. I've been thinking about my heaven wish.
Yeah?
I think I'm just going to use it to create the same effect as the Olive Garden Unlimited Pasta Pass.
That's actually a great heaven wish.
Thank you, Gary.
Yeah, like I would like that. I'm surprised you didn't go for the unlimited, Shrimp Fest.
I would die.
Okay.
In heaven, I would die.
That's the nice thing about the unlimited pasta pass is it's not, it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not gonna I'm not driven to use it all the time.
Yeah.
And Gary, if you die in heaven, you die in real life.
It is like it's actually like your super death.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Gary, don't talk about bosses we haven't gotten to yet.
Oh, yep, true. God, like if you just get a second chance in heaven, but if you fuck up there, like that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, man, you're on heaven probation.
Yep. And then you get like one last chance. You have to clear your name, and you're John Wick.
I mean, Gary, we're describing sort of the plot of cult favorite 90s TV show Brimstone.
Oh.
In which John Glover, a.k.a.
John Wick.
No, Donald Clamp from Gremlins 2.
Oh, okay.
Plays Satan, taunting this dead detective and making him be his bounty hunter.
That's pretty interesting. That sounds like I want to read that source book.
Yeah.
How is that not a White Wolf game? Hunter, the Reckoning?
Yep, already exists, buddy.
I know. That's a joke.
Hunter the Rexening.
Ooh.
Hunter the Wreck-It Ralph-ing. There we go.
There we are. We
did it.
We finally got there. And
we finally got to Hunter the Wreck-It Ralph-ing.
Finally. Everyone's been waiting with bated breath.
187, 188 episodes.
Yeah.
And we finally said the phrase.
Yeah. And
we're free, Gary. We're free.
Yeah.
Whew. I took off my headphones. I'm free.
Yay. Bye. But also patreon.com/DuckFeed.tv. Good night.
Good night.